What are we? What makes us what we are and what we're going to be? I think it's that right there. It's grit. It's what we started with last year, guys. All you guys that were in here. It's our core foundation, man, grit. And what does it mean? Really, in a nutshell, I think it means this. We'll go a little bit longer, we'll push a little harder, and we'll think a little deeper and a little sharper.
Yes, amen.
Like to me, it means we'll play anywhere. We'll play on grass, we'll play on turf, we'll go to a fucking landfill. Doesn't matter.
Landfill?
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass. It means that normally I'm 100%, 85%, man. That's all I need to beat you.
Play through injuries.
I don't care. I will produce and win at 85%. You guys already know you're not going to be 100% until next March. This is the best you're going to feel right now. It's the best you're going to feel. The quicker you accept that, man, the better off we're all going to be. All right, now, there's a number of teams.
I need an analogy here.
As it equates to, just bear with me, the ocean, right? There's a number of teams.
Let's go in the ocean.
They just barely get to the water. You got to get in the water
sort
to
of like
compete.
last year's Lions.
The number of teams, that's all they get to.
It's us.
Then there's a number of teams, they are in the shallows. And they come in a hurry, man, and they are all over your ass. They're all over your ass, and they strike and move. They strike and move, and they're dangerous, man. You just got to get a hold of them, though. If you can just get a hold of them, and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them. And that's what we got to be.
Yes.
That's who we have to be. Because that's our domain. That is our domain. Because we'll tread water as long as it takes to fucking bury you. We'll go as long as it takes because we can and we choose to. That's who we are. That's who we have to be. Now, it goes without saying, the teams that are dangerous in the shallows and the abyss are probably the top 4 or 5 in this league. That's who they are. And that's what we're working to.
Good luck with that.
Last thing I'm going to say, I'm keeping this brief. The last thing I'm going to say is this. There is no light at the end of the tunnel.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
Nope.
There is no light. There's a song Metallica has, No Leaf Clover, and it says, man, when it comes to the soothing light at the end of your tunnel, it's just a freight train coming your way. So if you're seeing a fucking light, it's a freight train. Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Yes. This is going to be fun.
Yes.
There's a freight train coming, but don't worry. It's going to be good. Honestly, if you put your head down, man versus freight train, man's going to win every time.
And I don't give a fuck about your injuries. No injuries. A train's coming to the abyss.
And we will drown someone.
We will drown.
Before this is over.
Dan Campbell, we were talking about it before we started. He was made to coach, man. He's built for this.
He's a genius. I don't know if he's a good coach.
No, of course not.
But if I said right before we came on air, if I was making a movie about football and I was like, who's going to play the coach? I'm picking Dan Campbell.
Easily.
I don't give a fuck if he has no acting experience whatsoever.
Easily.
I'd be like, you are the guy.
Be you, Dan.
Like he
Fuck
puts
dialogue.
He puts what the fuck? I can't. Every time I want to think of a name, it just goes.
Remember the Titans?
No, fucking Al Pacino. Fuck Al Pacino. Okay, Dan Campbell is the real Al Pacino. Okay.
Yeah. You do what you're told. Yeah, that's him saying that Al Pacino line.
I mean,
You do what you're fucking told. All
bro.
right?
I mean,
I'm glad to be back, man.
bro, we are motherfucking back and
Yes.
shit.
Oh yeah. The soundboard is back.
Give me that motherfucking soundboard. Where that shit at? Here we go.
I'm out of practice, bro.
Delayed. Boom. Let's fucking go. We're doing this shit with the
SveNFL is back.
yeah, baby. The bromance is back.
Bromance is back, man. It's good to see you,
Fucking
man.
good to see you too, man.
I'll start real quick. Ask you how your summer was. How was your summer?
My summer was an adventure. I traveled back home.
Nice.
Mostly in northern Florida. I know you got caught. You got your flight canceled on the way back. We got stuck in New York on the way there, and stayed one night in a lovely 2-star hotel by the highway that looked a lot like it could double as the set of like crime scene investigator kind of thing. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, this is really get me out of here. But Florida was great. It was hot as fuck, but it was really nice. We had a house right by the beach. Lots of cousins. Like I have these 2 cousins that live down there, and one of them has 5 kids, and the other one has 4 kids. So my kids and their kids were all hanging out together, and we celebrated my grandmother's 95th birthday, which was crazy.
Shout out to grandma.
Yeah, exactly.
That's her favorite sound effect.
That's what's up, Granny B.
Granny B. You call her Granny B?
Granny B, because her name is
nice.
actually Vivian, but when I was a kid, I couldn't pronounce the letter V.
You said Bibian?
And I said, Granny B. They tried to get me to call her Granny V, but I called her Granny B, and so everyone calls her that now.
Oh, nice.
Trendsetter, not a big deal. So I've been setting trends since I was a baby. It's just what it is. It's what I do. Yeah, it was, it was crazy. It was Florida, you know what I mean? Yeah. It was like, we went to an alligator farm, did that whole thing. It was nuts. We drank a lot. We hung out by the beach. I got to surf again. I haven't surfed in, God, I can't remember the last time.
I didn't know you could surf.
Yeah, it wasn't great surf, but whatever. We had a surfboard.
The Gulf?
No, on the east coast side. Shout out to my cousin Benji, man. This fucking guy. He went to the Georgia-Alabama game for the national championship. Georgia wins. He buys up all this fucking gear after the game for me, and not just me, but me and my entire family. Like he had shit for me, he had shit for Isak, for Saga, for Joanna. Like he was so cool. He completely hooked us up. And we had some epic experiences while we were there. They have boats and shit, and so we were going up and down the intercoastal waterway and swimming and hanging out, and it was pretty cool. We saw a shark, which was fun. We saw a guy catch a shark with a fishing pole. That was fascinating.
On purpose?
Yeah, dude caught a shark. I mean, he was I guess he was fishing. He was probably trying to catch something. He didn't. He threw the shark back. He didn't want the shark.
Like, I need a shark.
He was like, cool.
I'm hungry for shark.
But Florida's such a weird place, and you know this. People. It's just a complete. It's a universe unto itself. Kind of the way that most people think about Texas. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the first night we were there. My cousin's husband comes by and he's like, "Hey, I just got back I went to this deep sea fishing trip off the coast of Louisiana, and I'm gonna bring you guys some fish." I'm like, "Oh, great, fresh fish caught from the ocean, super cool." This dude comes over with like a large, beer cooler, very very large, packed all the way to the top with an entire tuna. In the fucking an entire tuna and snapper tuna. It was just snapper and tuna filled all the way to the top. It was like, motherfucker, what a cool. So there we are, just fucking whacking it up and eating fresh tuna.
Nice.
I mean, it was so good you could eat it like it was sushi grade tuna. You could eat it raw.
Like the ahi.
Yeah.
Oof.
It was crazy.
Nice.
So it was cool. We had a great.
Did you make it to Atlanta? Did you go up there?
We didn't, but we did make it to Georgia. On the last couple of days, we actually moved from St. Augustine up to Fernandina, which, as you know, is a lot closer to the Georgia border. And we got on a boat that took us up to the Cumberland Islands, which is technically part of Georgia, which is a very fascinating place, Cumberland Island, because there's no people there. There's only wild horses.
Oh, shit.
So it's kind of bizarre. And then the island that's across from Cumberland Island is called Rattlesnake Island because all the rattlesnakes, they swim down the river. And when they get to the salty part, they don't like salt water. They bail and they get out on this island. And apparently there's I don't even know, 100,000 rattlesnakes on this tiny little island. God. So they were like, if you fall out of the boat, do not swim that way.
Oh, shit. Somebody found out the hard way.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds great, man.
It was pretty cool. And then it was kind of a short. I mean, for me, it was 2.5 weeks, and then I came back, and as soon as I was back in Sweden, I was more or less back to work.
Yeah.
I had a lot of shit to do, but it's all good stuff. Just prepping for some new shit. Gonna pitch Netflix in a couple weeks with
good
some
luck.
new crazy ideas, and been hustling some other shit. But it's it's been back to work, but it's been lovely in Sweden, warm. So even though I've been working, it's like, at the end of my work day, I usually go down and jump in the water because I live like
nice.
5 minutes from the water. So, but it's
Cool,
been great.
man.
But your trip, bro, what an adventure!
I drove across the U.S., man. If people want details on it, you can check out my YouTube. I chronicled my trip with my son. I had this plan when he was born that I would take my kid when they're old enough across the U.S., and we did it, man.
It's so cool.
It actually happened. Got the camper van and rode all the way as far west as the Grand Canyon up to Yellowstone.
What did Bash think of the Grand Canyon?
Oh, he loved it, man. He wanted to do push-ups at the Grand Canyon.
Oh, yeah?
He said it before we went, and then we got there, and he started immediately looking for a place to do them. And he did his push-ups.
That's so interesting obsession. I think
I was okay. So that was fun, man. The whole thing. Yellowstone was crazy. We camped at Yellowstone, and yeah, man, got to. I made a fire for the first time. It was pretty cool, man.
Made a fire for the first time.
Made a fire like that, a campfire.
Oh, like from nothing.
Yeah. Well, I had a match. And
you had a match.
Yeah. I didn't do the whole thing.
You've never made a campfire before?
No, man, no.
Wow.
Do I look like a Boy Scout?
I don't know. I have a lot of questions to ask you about food in Miami because I just recently watched an episode of this street food thing on Netflix.
I heard about this.
And there's an episode in Miami where I was like, motherfucker.
Miami's got a good food culture.
Those Cuban burgers with the shoestring fries, I forget what they called them. The South, man. South. I never heard of South.
You never heard of South?
I've never heard of South,
I think it's a Caribbean. There's a lot of Caribbean influence in Miami and South.
But I loved it when these people came to the South man to get some sauce, and he was like, "Nah, it ain't." She was like, "Oh yeah, we came for some sauce," and he's like, "No, it ain't sauce. It's sauce." I was like, I love this guy.
It's like a spicy
Love
soup,
it.
and they have the chicken sauce is so good, man. My grandmother makes it. So good, man.
I was a little blown away. I was like
I
the
haven't
whole
seen the
episode,
show.
I was like, man, I cannot wait to talk to Jonathan about this.
Conch. I haven't seen the show, but like Conch, did they do anything with Conch?
I don't think so. No,
The snail.
no they didn't.
They
May have. No, they mostly focused. The South man was like kind of the star of that episode.
Okay.
Each episode is like they do different. They go to different places.
Okay.
And in every episode, it has a formula for every episode.
Okay.
So there's like a star who they focus on, and they tell his story or her story throughout the episode. But then they keep checking in on other stories too.
Okay.
But Southman was the main man.
Nice.
And they always pick somebody. It's so formulaic. They always pick somebody who's like had some kind of tragedy because that helps to move the narrative,
Like American Idol.
Exactly. They always pick, okay, let's find like 10 people that we want to do stories on in this episode. Who has the saddest story? Who's
that's the star.
who had a heart attack? Whose son died? Who was a drug addict? Anyone? Okay, let's go. But it's good. It's good.
I'm gonna check it out.
It's good.
I had
Really
some good food there. I had some. You like oxtail?
Yeah, absolutely.
I had never seen oxtail and grits. We went to the soul food restaurant right in the heart of Miami, or in the hood. And if you want good food, go to the hood. And it was so good. Horrible service, of course, but the food's so good you don't even care.
Bro, I ate so much good food when I was back home. Shrimp and grits.
Bro, I have
Oh
shrimp
my
and grits
God.
too.
Shrimp and grits,
Oh,
fried
man.
shrimp.
Y'all gotta get on the grits out here.
Iceberg salad wedge thing. I know it's sort of like a kind of a white trash kind of thing, but I tell
Iceberg
you,
salad wedge?
it's like a wedge of iceberg lettuce, and they just like douse it in blue cheese and bacon, and it's like,
Oh my God.
it's so. I know it sounds
That's the
crazy.
whitest thing I've ever heard.
It
in
is
my
the
life.
whitest thing ever. It's not good for you.
It's a mayonnaise away from being the whitest thing.
I know it really is. It's so good though. I mean, the food that we ate there we had mahi tacos and like all kinds of other shit. I mean, bro, you just don't. They don't even know.
And
They don't even know over here.
I miss the
We will talk about football at some point. I promise.
But hot breakfast game.
Exactly.
Hot breakfast game needs work here, man.
Bro, how many times do I wake up on a Saturday morning here in Sweden and it pops into my head? And I usually say it out loud because it hurts my heart too much that it doesn't exist. I'm like, who wants to go to Waffle House?
Or Denny's or IHOP.
Yeah.
Or a diner.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why don't they have anything? You go get a fucking
Here, American
sandwich.
breakfast will set you back like, a whole payday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, why, bro? Like,
What's with the eggs?
It's eggs and bacon and potatoes.
Yes.
And pancakes. Yeah, I should not have to pay an arm and a leg for that.
It's ridiculous that it's not a part of the culture here, man. Jeez.
Although they are like straight up like pussies about coffee. I remember my cousin bought like coffee for us. And she was like, I bought this coffee because I know they have like, really strong coffee in Europe. And it was like, death coffee, like it's the strongest coffee in the world. It like had all these things on it. And we made coffee. We actually didn't use it until we got back here. And I made coffee with it. And I was like, it tastes like
water.
It tastes like Swedish coffee. Like this is just like it's got like skull and crossbones on it. Like, oh my God. It's like, this is basically like, regular fucking Swedish coffee. I didn't have a decent cup of coffee the whole time I was in America. It's terrible.
I don't drink coffee, but my wife's family talks about that in America, the coffee is like hot water.
It's terrible. It's bad. It might as well be tea, really, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, we are back.
Yeah, we're back.
And football is back.
Football's back. Football didn't take a break.
Football was crazy while we were gone.
The NFL was like, all right, here we go.
Football was crazy while we were gone. And so I think we have decided that
You niggas are crazy!
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And we're gonna do 2 episodes.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna break this down into like shit we missed.
Mm-hmm. And then
What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah. And then we're gonna do like sort of a bad boy episode.
He's a habitual line stepper.
Where we talk about some people who have been up to some shenanigans.
yes, shenanigans.
Lots of shenanigans going on. I cannot wait to talk about Dan Snyder and his $200 million yacht scooting around trying to avoid a subpoena to testify in front of Congress. What a fucking, like, you're like a TV villain at this point. Like, what are you doing?
So that'll be next episode. We're gonna talk about the criminals.
What's wrong with y'all?
Episode. In this episode, we're gonna talk about catch up on the NFL, right?
Absolutely. And I think first things first, most of you probably know this already. Well, those of you who were used to watching the NFL on Viaplay, that ship has sailed. So you're going to have to get Game Pass.
That's it.
That's it. That's the only way to watch the NFL in Sweden right now.
How?
As far as I know, nobody has secured the license. No channel has secured the license for the NFL in Sweden.
How can the NFL on one hand say they're trying to grow in Europe and then on the other hand do that?
I would imagine that Sweden would be considered statistically irrelevant.
Okay.
No offense, Sweden.
No,
But that's probably how they look at it. Statistically irrelevant. What are there, 10, 12 million people here? How many people actually watch American football?
Yeah.
Probably not that many.
Yeah, but that's still 10 million people you could try to get to watch football. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
If you believe in your product, put the product out there. See if people latch on.
Well, I think they're hoping that people will probably try to get Game Pass or something like that. I don't know. But I think it's I mean, it is what it is, but it's unfortunate, but it's
very unfortunate. I don't care because I got Game Pass and
right
I got American channels, so.
Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much your only bet. Also, Hard Knocks, which we started the show with.
Oh,
obviously.
I thought Dan Campbell was in studio.
Bro. We wouldn't even be having this conversation if he was here. We'd be grapefruit in the
He probably
we'd be
would
like, Dan. Hey, Dan. So glad to have you here, Dan. What did you do this summer, Dan?
I'm going to try to secure an interview with Dan Campbell.
Oh, my God. It'll be so much fun.
He does podcasts and stuff.
He does.
Like as a guest.
Yeah.
We're going to say we're a Detroit Lions podcast in Sweden.
Yes, we have a podcast for all 10 of the Detroit Lion fans in Sweden. Someone invited me to an Atlanta Falcons fans in Sweden Facebook group, and I joined it, of course. And there's like, I don't know, I remember, there must be like 30 people in there.
Oh, wow.
It's just like, I saw a kid wearing a Julio Jones jersey at Grunaloon the other day. I was shocked.
Julio Jones for what team?
Falcons.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Kids living in the past.
He is living in the past, as are most Falcons fans.
So,
to
was
be
it
clear.
a time traveler?
Yes, most of us Falcons fans are currently living in the past. It's the only time. It's the only time we get to smile.
Until that second half, huh?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Fucking Kyle Shanahan. Oh God, I can't wait for that motherfucker to get fired. We should do a hot seat episode at some point.
Oh yeah, we'll do it.
We'll get into that later. But let's catch up on some news.
Yeah.
A lot of contract stuff. Debo finally settled his issues with the 49ers, signed a 3-year, $73.5 million extension to stay with the 49ers.
Straight cash, homie.
$58.1 million of that is guaranteed. So
God
49ers fans, take a breath.
Yeah.
Because if that didn't happen, who the fuck, what would, I mean, Jimmy G, I mean, the reports now are that, well, we'll get into all the Deshaun Watson stuff later because the official, all the insanity of
He's a
that.
habitual line stepper.
But the rumor is that if he does wind up getting suspended for a year, that they're going to go after Jimmy G. And then I have not heard any good news about Trey Lance coming out of training camp for the 49ers.
Wait, the Browns going after Jimmy G? If Watson gets, like a 1-year prove-it deal?
That's the rumor. Or just a 1-year rental.
Yeah, I'm
You
saying,
know what
but
I mean?
it's proven to the league that he can be your quarterback.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
You don't have to be good to take a team to the NFC Championship, apparently. But I don't know. That may actually say more about the NFC than it does anything. I don't think a quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo can necessarily, take his team to the AFC Championship. It's a far stronger competition.
I didn't even think about that, especially quarterback-wise.
Absolutely. Who else got the bag? Aaron Donald. He worked out his shit, too. Massive new deal.
Okay.
Contract, according to my people on the ground, who I spoke to.
Sources.
I'm not saying it's Rap Sheet or one of those guys, but, whatever. So apparently the deal has no new years. Instead, it's the existing deal was kind of like torn up and replaced with a new one, right? So he's going to get $95 million over the next 3 years.
Straight cash, homie.
So essentially what that means is that he's getting like a $40 million raise when you compare it to his previous contract.
Wow.
Rams, again,
We don't get no better than that, baby.
out here just, throwing money at people somehow.
That's their thing, man.
Reached an agreement with All-Pro wide receiver Cooper Kupp, 3-year deal, $80 million extension, $75 million guaranteed. Which when you add this to his current contract, we'll see him paid $110 million total over the next 5 seasons.
Damn.
So
Straight cash, homie.
I don't know how they do math in LA. I really don't get it. At some point you feel like it's all going to come crashing down, but I don't know when.
We've been saying it for 3 years.
We've been saying that for so long, but I don't know. It has to happen eventually, of course. It happens to everyone.
They figured it out though, man. Jeez. I feel like the league is a copycat league, and they're starting to go that way big time. Especially the cap going up. It's like the draft's going to become irrelevant, man.
It's true.
I mean, or you can nail it in the draft as well and put money in. If there's some team that's doing it both, like as aggressive in free agency and in the draft, or I don't
know. Also, the Cleveland Browns in a normal year, this would be maybe the dumbest thing they've done in their entire offseason. But this year is special, so this one kind of flew under the radar. David Njoku agrees to a 4-year, $56.75 million extension.
Straight cash, homie.
Is he really worth that? You know what I mean? Like
he went to the U though.
He had one. It reminds me of something. But fuck, where's my bag?
Right there behind you.
It's right behind me. So while I was traveling, I was thinking of you. Okay. I'm in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself.
Appreciate it.
My man Jonathan. This is the state that raised him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, this poor guy, he has to listen to me talk about my man, former Bulldog this, my man, former Bulldog that. Yeah. And I got you a small token of appreciation of our friendship.
All right. Let's see what this is, man.
Which I'm going to give to you now.
Skip's going in his bag right now.
Here it is.
Uh-oh.
Small token of my appreciation for you putting up with all my bullshit with the Georgia Bulldogs.
Is this a bottle opener?
It's the only wrapping paper I
Oh, it's all about the you.
have. Yeah, baby, let's go.
Oh, snap.
I couldn't resist.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that.
I had to do it.
I really appreciate it,
Had
man.
to. Because, sometimes it can also be about the you. Even though currently it feels like it's all about the Georgia Bulldogs, but sometimes it can be about the you.
I mean, yeah, but the you invented swag.
That's true.
And
And
it's magnetic.
oh,
too.
hell yeah. You can put that shit on your refrigerator, bro.
I put it right on that refrigerator in the studio. In the studio. Did you watch that?
No.
Have you seen the guy who with the samurai sword? It's like it's a blooper on the Home Shopping Network. He's trying to show how sturdy the sword is.
And it falls apart.
And it breaks and stabs him in the fucking stomach. And then he goes down, right? He's like, it got me, Odell. It got me, Odell. And then this country bumpkin named Odell walks out to the camera, looks directly into these big Coke bottle glasses, and he says, "We're going to need emergency surgery in the studio." Oh, you should watch that.
That is not quite how surgery works.
Exactly. In the studio.
Oh, my God. Who else got the bag? DK Metcalf got himself a little bag. 3 years, $72 million extension.
Straight cash, homie.
With the rebuilding Seahawks. I feel like, I mean, that team has essentially gutted itself for the most part. I understand keeping him because if you clearly they think they're not going to be that good this year. Hopefully they'll get a good quarterback next year.
Maybe that's the plan.
You know what I mean? Like,
but Pete Carroll's going to dig out some extra wins too, man.
he will.
If I was the GM, I would get rid of Metcalf just to make sure Pete Carroll doesn't fucking overcoach, overachieve too much. And unless they make some trades for their first pick or a lower pick or whatever. I don't know. A higher pick.
Mika Fitzpatrick, 3 years after getting traded, or after trading a first-round pick to acquire him from the Miami Dolphins, the Steelers have signed this two-time All-Pro safety to a new 5-year deal, making him the NFL's highest-paid safety. Interesting.
Straight cash, homie.
He's a beast.
He is.
He's a superstar.
Yeah.
So.
Contract includes $73.6 million, $36 million guaranteed. 18 million
per year
annual salary.
God. Well done, Minka.
Hunter Renfrow got himself a little bag. 2-year, $32 million contract. Third in Renfrow. Let's go.
Straight cash, homie.
Do your thing, Hunter.
That's going to be an interesting team to watch this year, I think, because they have now Derek Carr has so many people to throw the ball to that it's like, last year they really leaned on Hunter Renfrow quite a bit. So I think he kind of.
Yeah, but Waller's grabbing all that attention too.
Yeah, he was injured quite a bit last year too, though.
Renfrow would be good on that show. I sent you that clip with the one-on-ones.
Oh yeah,
that shit is great, man.
Oh yeah.
Those of you out there that like excitement. I mean, if you like the And One mixtapes back in the day, the best.
That shit was dope.
The And One mixtapes was fun.
There's a 30 for 30 on that right now.
Yes.
I saw it while I was back home.
I saw some of it.
Saw it while I was back home. I was kind of fascinated by it.
Yeah, I'm going to check the whole thing. I haven't seen the whole thing. But the football version of an And1 mixtape, I forget what the guy, there's this coach that goes back to different cities and asks for the best wide receivers and the best cornerbacks to do one-on-one and go at it, and this shit is fantastic.
That shit was cool.
Yeah.
That shit was
I've watched a few of them, man. And I normally don't watch long stuff on YouTube. These are 30-minute videos I can get on with, man.
They're pretty good.
It's so hype, and
the
atmosphere is crazy. So check that out if y'all get a chance.
The Kyler Murray story was one of the more fascinating stories this summer, I think. A lot of drama. They finally
before and after the signing.
Yeah, exactly. Because Kyler, there was a lot of bullshit that I think we did talk about before regarding his agent putting out statements, and, indicating that he wasn't happy and that he
extending the coach and GM.
Exactly.
Before Kyler,
which I think is going to come back to bite them in the ass.
Oh, it definitely will.
But eventually, the Cardinals agreed to a $230.5 million extension, $160 million guaranteed. But
Straight cash, homie.
the big story after the contract dropped was this homework clause that they slipped in, right? This is all anybody wanted to talk about the day after the contract dropped was this homework clause because it made Kyler look bad. I personally think it made the organization look bad.
Yes.
At the same time,
You can't put your trust in somebody or you sign somebody making it look like you put your trust in them and then display in the contract that you don't trust them.
I personally think it made the owner look bitter. Like he was bitter that he had to pay up and he wanted to try and throw some shade on Kyler Murray.
That's why you don't do that.
It's like, no, dude,
Is he the future or not?
Exactly.
You paid him like he's the future. So that means whatever he did leading up to now earned this contract.
Yeah, and not only that, like you shit-canned your first-round pick after one season, Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
To
Shout
get
out to
this
Josh
guy,
Rosen.
Josh Rosen has to be
beast.
the most disrespected quarterback in the history of football.
Josh Rosen, he's sitting at home.
I am so upset.
Absolutely. Poor fucking guy. And you know where Josh Rosen is now? I think he's like third-string quarterback for the Browns.
No.
Yes, I think.
And they're like, yo, we can bring Jimmy G in.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the third-string quarterback for the Browns, and they want to bring in Jimmy G just in case Jacoby Brissett gets hurt.
Poor Josh.
This motherfucker. He's going to
probably
need...
laughing all the way to the bank.
He's going to need some serious therapy.
He's laughing all the way to the bank. He can afford the therapy.
True. But after about a week of like a lot of like intense media debate over this homework clause, and honestly, I saw the speech that Kyler Murray gave where he addressed this issue. And look, the knock on Kyler Murray is that, well, I don't know if the rumor is true, but the rumor is that he doesn't like to watch tape. He's really into video games and doing all that. Like when he's done with his workday, he goes home and he's done, right? But his argument, essentially, when this homework clause thing came up, was like, "Look, you don't get to where I've gotten by not being a student of the game."
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, I sit and watch tape every second of my day when I'm done? No, of course not. He's like, but I'm undefeated in high school, won a Heisman Trophy in college.
You think I didn't know what their safety was going to do?
First of all, we do stuff. We look at stuff. We don't, it's not like I do not, it just became like a really bad look for the organization to have the face of your franchise having to explain, his football acumen. It was like a really, really bad look. And when it was all said and done, they decided to remove the homework clause from his contract.
It's too late. Damage is done, man. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I don't know if they can repair that whole thing right there. It's gonna be some. Cliff's got some work to do.
I think it's funny because their thing when they took out the homework clause was like, oh, we didn't realize this would be a distraction. To which my response is like, okay,
that's not an apology.
If that thought never crossed your mind, then you're either like
out of touch, man.
Like you're either lying or you're far dumber than we thought you were, which is actually.
Like, are you Cleveland?
Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable. Lamar Jackson is the other contract extension, which has not happened.
Come on, son. The fuck out of here with that
a lot of
bullshit.
people are kind of scratching their heads as to how this one's going to wind up. He will clearly play this. He's on the last year of his rookie deal. He is his own agent, along with his mother, the last time I checked. Yeah. And there's been a lot of chatter about, maybe he's playing. Well, there's a lot of different things. People are saying that there's a few different possibilities regarding why he has not settled his contract yet. Okay. One is that, he's basically waiting to figure out where he can fit into the market, right? Like he's wanting the biggest number he can possibly get. Maybe he wants to play the Kirk Cousins game, which for those of you who don't remember, Kirk Cousins did this very interesting thing where, unlike a lot of other players, just accepted being on the franchise tag every year until he became a free agent, and he got biggest,
It's
most
the first guarantee, fully guaranteed contract in NFL history.
Absolutely, and
It's like $100 million. Now they're like, why did we do that?
exactly. And Lamar Jackson may be trying to play that game as well. Who knows?
When they signed him, we were
Man, did this dude just did this?
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and now he's got the Vikings out there saying this.
That's too low. I gotta
Fuck
fix
the
that.
goddamn shit.
I gotta fix that stuff. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. Sorry.
But that's an interesting one to monitor. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't either, man. But I'm saying a lot of these brothers getting disrespected, man.
Yeah.
I think about 2 years ago with this, because you got the what's his name, Murray, getting disrespected with this studying thing.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson, they don't want to give him what I think he's earned.
Mm-hmm.
And then Deshaun Watson 2 years ago, when he's basically had to break down all of the facets of the defense that he was facing, like to justify why he's making certain throws.
Right.
Remember that?
Yep.
Like 3 press conferences in a row when he was like, well, they were in a cover 6 and then this, blah, blah. And then he was like explaining all this shit. I've never seen any other quarterback have to go through some shit like that.
Right.
And it's hard not to point it to a little bit of racism.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe. A little bit. A
I
little
don't know.
bit.
I want to see them ask Ryan Tannehill some shit like that.
Yeah, they
Kirk
should.
Cousins getting it back. Kirk Cousins? Right? It's the one that gets well, he did it his way, though.
Yeah. You guys are not going to believe this, but for those of you who have been with us from the beginning, we have a DeAndre Baker update.
Oh!
It's not good news.
Is this SveNFL without a DeAndre Baker update?
It's not good news.
The good news was given already that there's a DeAndre Baker update. But what
Yeah,
happened?
it's a little anticlimactic. Essentially, the Kansas City Chiefs, they cut a motherfucker. They bitch slapped DeAndre Baker,
no.
and they have tossed him to the curb. My man, former Bulldog, DeAndre Baker, was cut from the Kansas City Chiefs after 2 seasons where he never really made the first team squad. Yeah. This is officially the biggest story that everyone is watching at the moment. Who will scoop up DeAndre Baker? Okay,
He's going to be our unpaid intern.
I haven't seen one article. You know, like when a guy like it holds out or this like there's a contract. Ooh, landing spots for Roquan Smith. You know, that's the big story right now because Roquan Smith doesn't want to play with the Bears anymore. He's demanding a trade. Also, former Bulldog, by the way. Just saying. Anyway, bunch of articles about landing spots. Not a one for DeAndre Baker, this poor motherfucker. What a fall from grace. Never should have gone. Never should have gone to that party. Never.
Don't go to the Madden party.
Whatever he did or didn't do, obviously that event, whether he's, we can all believe that he's either innocent or guilty from this thing. It ruined his career. Yeah, man. It absolutely ruined it. Sucks. What else? Retirement news. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the beard, finally decided to hang up the cleats. I just felt like this was worth mentioning. This guy is kind of an interesting dude.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
166 career games.
How many teams?
147 of which were starts. Fitzpatrick completed over 60% of his passes, 34,990 yards, 223 touchdowns, 169 interceptions. And he rushed for 2,623 yards and 21 touchdowns. How many teams did he play for? He played for 9 different teams. Wow. Fitzpatrick played for the Rams, the Bengals, Bills, Titans, Texans, Jets, Bucks, Dolphins, and the Washington, whatever the fuck we're supposed to call them now. Football team, Commanders.
Did he play for like the Bills twice?
Maybe.
Like he left and came back?
Maybe, yeah.
Shout out to Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Respect.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? He's a funny dude. Yeah. What else happened? The Broncos are officially owned by Walmart.
Oh, the guy he bought them. Okay.
Insert your joke here. You know what I mean? It's like the ownership group is led by Rob Walton, the son of Walmart founder Sam Walton, his daughter Carrie Welton Pinner, and her husband Greg Pinner. Greg Pinner has served as the chairman of Walmart since 2015. The deal is the highest price tag for an NFL team to date, $4.65 billion they purchased the team for. Rob Walton's sister is coincidentally married to Rams owner Stan Kroenke. So, we talk about this inner circle shit a lot. So shouldn't be surprised by that. The funniest part that's come out of this story so far was a few days ago, all the owners met to sort of approve the sale of the Broncos, except Stephen Ross, who we'll get to in the next episode, why he was not there.
Shout out to Stephen Ross, stand-up guy.
And when Rob Walton took the stand to give his speech in front of all the owners and the press and everything, I wish we had this audio clip. It's so funny. He gets up there. He's like, I really want to first and foremost thank the commissioner, Roger Goodell. I thank him and his team. Roger Goodell. He's been.
Did he say it multiple times?
He's multiple. It was like the biggest flex move I've ever seen. Like, I don't even know your name, bro. Like, do you have any idea how much? This guy is literally the richest owner in the NFL now.
Wow.
I don't need. And by the way, the commissioner works for the owners. You work for me, bitch.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck what your name is, Goodell, Goodell. Fuck, who cares? Go get me a drink. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of Stan Kroenke, the NFL, this was a little story that kind of slipped in that I don't think a lot of people realized during the summer. The NFL took $7.5 million from each team in settlement for the Rams move from St. Louis to Los Angeles. So much for Stan Kroenke claiming that he was going to foot the bill. I got this, guys. It's not a big deal. If there's going to be a problem, I'll take care of it.
They're like, you motherfucker.
But how many times have we said this on the show? You do not get rich paying your bills.
Exactly.
You just don't. You get other motherfuckers to pay your bills. That's how you get rich.
Damn.
Okay? So that's an interesting story that, whatever. Who cares? It's over. The biggest transaction, right? Two big ones.
Okay.
For me, right? Both of them went down in the NFC South. We'll get into the whole Deshaun Watson stuff later. But this is a somewhat relevant. Cleveland Browns. Okay, look, Baker Mayfield, he finally finds a home.
Yes.
Right? Leaves the Browns. He's going to the Carolina Panthers. The details of this deal are kind of astonishing, actually. Okay?
Yeah, isn't like Cleveland going to pay?
This is fascinating. The Panthers are going to pay Baker Mayfield $5 million to play football this year. Okay? Baker agreed to shave off like $3 million that I think has been shifted into incentives.
Okay.
Right? So if he plays I wrote it down. If he plays 75% of the regular season snaps and earns 10 wins, then he gets a $250,000 bonus. If he gets a divisional round win, $500,000. NFC Championship win, $500,000. Super Bowl win, $750,000. So none of those things are going to happen. So he basically
gave $3 million away.
basically just took $3 million and threw it in the trash because none of that shit's going to happen. Yeah, and also it's all these other things. Like if you finish top 10 in the NFL, all this other shit. The kind of embarrassing part comes with the news that Cleveland, after giving a record guaranteed contract to a potential predator who has not played a single snap in 2 years,
bad teammate,
and may not play a single snap this year due to a suspension.
Fuck that guy.
Agreed to pay $9.5 million of Baker Mayfield's contract. So the Browns are paying
double,
twice as much as the Panthers are paying, so that Baker Mayfield can play football for another team.
And does that tie?
And they play each other in week 1.
He's gonna want to kill them. Does that tie up their salary cap?
The Browns have no. The Browns have. I think the Browns have the most salary cap to play with right now, and it's because the Watson deal. He's only technically supposed to get paid $1 million this year.
So, but the Baker Mayfield thing, is that a salary cap hit?
Yes.
Okay.
It counts to their cap, but they have so much cap space it doesn't matter.
That, yeah.
I think they're at the top of the list of most cap space, or pretty close to it. Check it.
Yeah, they're at the top.
Yeah.
$48.9 million cap space. God damn.
It's pretty crazy.
They should.
But the level of, I mean, like this story and all the Deshaun Watson stuff and everything else, it's just like, and then you go back and you really if you replay that press conference when they announced all that stuff where they're like, we feel really confident about Deshaun, the person, and all this stuff, like what, like I've rarely seen a level of dysfunction at this high with a team in all of my years of paying attention to.
Do you listen to the Daily?
I do,
Times?
And that was a great episode. They do. If anyone, there's an episode that the New York Times does. It's called The Daily, and they have a fantastic recap with the woman who wrote this really
investigative
good.
Journalist.
She's an investigative journalist. She wrote this great in-depth article about the whole Deshaun Watson thing.
Yeah.
And she dove in.
Yeah, she had started looking at it when it all first started.
Mm-hmm. She was the one who realized that it was far more like we're all sitting here going like, whoa, it's 24 women. It's like, no. Like in an 8-month period, this guy saw close to 100 different massage therapists. Like creepy.
I have a friend, old military buddy, a Clemson fan, but he said that has nothing to do with how he feels. It's
not his fault.
But he was defending Deshaun Watson. And it's getting to a point I was like, how can you still defend this guy? It's like, is it a conspiracy? Like, what are you saying? If 20-something people are saying I did something, and I'm saying I did nothing to anybody, is it a conspiracy? Like, they're all trying to take you down? Is that what this is? Or, is it a money grab?
I don't know, man. We'll dive into that one in the Bad Boys episode. The other big transaction, like I said, NFC South, and this one, I'm not going to lie, this one hurt a little.
Okay.
Julio Jones agrees to a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I didn't think about that. I knew the deal, but I didn't think about how he's now going to be a rival.
He picked, apparently he picked the Bucs over the Packers, the Saints, and the Colts, who were all vying for his services. My gut reaction when I first saw this, when I woke up in the morning, was like, fuck. Now, I've had some time to sleep on it. Okay. And I know that whatever, it's not, I feel like it's in some ways inevitable to see Julio Jones standing in the end zone while playing the Falcons. And that's going to hurt for sure. But at this point, I am of the opinion that while I am in no way, shape, or form rooting for the Bucs to win another Super Bowl, I would be very happy for Julio.
Get him one.
If that took place. Because I personally feel like
you can't say it.
I can't. I wish there was some kind of way for Julio to win the Super Bowl with the Bucs,
being a Bucs
without the Bucs also winning one. It's hard. It's hard. It hurts. I mean, it's really Julio and Deion Sanders are really sort of, I guess,
the big two.
The big two. Michael Vick, that also was pretty heartbreaking when that happened. I don't know, man. I have this vision we're obviously going to play him twice a year. Julio's going to burn us. Oh, I don't know. It's going to suck. It's going to suck.
He's going to be injured throughout the year.
It's going to suck so bad to have Tom Brady throwing a touchdown pass to Julio Jones in Atlanta. I mean, people are going to get up and just walk out of the stadium. All 12 of them. Because nobody goes to those Falcons games. Nobody.
Is Calvin really going to bet on the game?
Probably. He's got the year off.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is he going to bet? Like,
he's got the year off. Why not?
Got to make some money.
Why the fuck not? I'm curious, actually, since we've been gone, the last episode, I actually went back and listened to the last episode a couple of weeks ago. Mostly just because I missed this,
I get it.
It was fun.
I did too.
And for those of you who remember, in the final episode was, this, I'm just going to say it was a pretty hot take on why I pitched you the Falcons And then I gave you the okie doke, and I flipped you, and I handed you the Dolphins. Since that last episode and this trip back home, and obviously the Stephen Ross stuff, which has come out now, which we'll get into in the next episode. Where are you at? Where are you at?
Oh man, your boys. I'm still a Dolphins fan, man.
I thought so.
I'm a Dolphins fan.
I thought so.
You know what was one of the kickers you didn't mention this part is that at my birthday party that you were at. Thanks for coming. And thanks to everybody who came through too. It was fun. My brother-in-law and homie Stefan and Rob got me a Dolphins jersey.
It was pretty dope.
Number 40, because that's how old I am
40th
now.
birthday.
And
number
it says
40.
Rollins
got
on
your
the
name on the back.
I was like, I can't lead the team, man. That was like, shit.
And as soon as I walked into the door, they ran over. They're like, "Did you see what we got, Jonathan?" They were so excited. And I was like, "Oh shit, that's fucking."
Yeah. So I got it. These are my guys.
That was a strong move.
And Ken had a good point. I saw him while I was on this trip too.
Oh, did you?
I saw
cool.
Ken. Shout out to him. But we were talking, and he makes the point about like all these owners ain't shit. You know.
Yep.
You're not rooting for the team because of the owner. Fuck the owner. You're rooting for the team because you love the team. He's like, you can't give your heart to another team. And I was like, yeah, he's got a good point, man.
It's true.
And he's like, fuck the owner.
And in a way, I kind of thought like,
but I'm not buying merch.
No,
he sells the team. I'll buy a jersey or something like that. But and Rob was saying, get bootleg merch.
China.
He's like, buy some bootleg. That's
buy some of that
middle
China
finger to the team.
Buy some of that China merch.
Yeah.
Just order it 3 sizes larger than you should.
Yeah.
Because that shit comes tight. Chinese people are little, bro. Extra large in China ain't extra large in America.
It's a Dolphins halter top.
That shit's tight. I bought a hockey jersey that wound up coming from China, and it's like, it's literally a size too small. It just is.
You can't even like put.
And that's not being weird and racist. I mean, whatever. I don't know why they do. I don't know why they don't follow.
Really racist.
Maybe it's because Chinese people are small. I have no idea.
You're really racist.
I have no.
What's wrong with you?
I know. I don't know. I really don't know. It's just one of those.
This bitch.
You niggas are crazy.
We don't have any sounds about Chinese people on here.
No.
This is a sick Negro.
Whatever. Just beware of that China merch, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta get the real shit.
Well, it's great to be back. Is that it for the? We're gonna wrap this episode up and then come back and let everybody know about the bad boys.
Yeah. And we have to. We have some ideas that we're gonna. I had some ideas that I wrote down, like regarding. Maybe doing a little coach's hot seat episode.
Yeah, doing that,
maybe we can throw quarterbacks in there too. But also, like, I have some ideas about how to revamp flip them and pick them this year.
Okay.
That I think we discussed before.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at some point we should do like some division, just team breakdowns. You know what I mean?
We'll do that.
Kind of try to work our way towards how we're gonna, because I think we should do this division winner bet again this year.
Hell yeah!
And I think the breaking down the different teams, I think, will help us to kind of make a more informed decision as to where we're headed.
And also, those of you that are interested in fantasy football, join us patreon.com/SveNFL, and once you're Patreon, you can hop into our fantasy league. We're actually going to give away money to the winner this year.
What?
So, you're going to go ahead and make a little bit of...
Straight cash, homie.
That's right.
Once you... so, the winner... what do we say? 2,000 to the winner?
Something like that.
2,000 crowns to the winner of our fantasy league. So, hop in there. You don't have to pay to join the league. You have to pay, you have to be a patron subscriber.
Right.
But that's...
I changed my fantasy name this year.
10 crowns a month.
You going to change your name? You're going to keep the same name?
No, we keep it. It's just me and my brother, man.
Oh, right. The Robinsons.
Yeah, and we won. I don't know if you...
Oh, yeah, I do. I remember.
Yeah, so...
I changed my fantasy name.
Change.
I changed my fantasy name to Zach Milfson. Because that was another story that was really fun that we didn't cover was...
Zach Wilson
Zach's out here
smashing.
He's out there smashing
the friends.
Forget about locking up your daughters. Lock up their mothers.
Oh, yeah. Also, if we get enough people, we want to do a relegation league.
Yeah.
Jason, shout out to him, man. Champ. He said that relegation is a good thing. So if you don't make the playoffs in our A squad, then you get relegated if enough people are there. That's a fun thing. And if you win the relegation league, then you come on up to the big dogs. So
I like it.
yeah, man. So sign up, man. Join us on Fantasy. It's fun. We talk shit. We do a live draft. It's really fun. It's the most fun I had on a fantasy league.
It was fun.
I'm in another one, but this one was way more fun.
It was fun. So I actually started. This is going to sound stupid because there's only 4 people, but I decided to start a fantasy league for just my family.
Oh yeah.
So
700 points.
We have so everybody has an awesome roster.
Yeah, of course.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
I currently have Patrick Mahomes on the bench because I have Josh Allen also. So it's a little like that. It's crazy, but it's the first time that my wife and my daughter have ever done fantasy.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever acted as the commissioner. We actually did an offline draft. We just did a draft in the living room, and I wrote everything down and then logged it all in. Later.
But you could do it live too, where you.
I know, but I wanted to. I did. When you do it live, they only give you like a 2-minute timer thing, and I just felt like for them especially, it wasn't fair.
Okay.
Like to have to only have 2 minutes to pick a player who like I don't even like. Once after a couple of rounds, they're like, "Who the fuck is Cam Akers?" They don't know who Cam Akers is. Is he good? Yes, he's good. He's pretty good.
Everybody you get will be good. There's only 4 of you.
Yeah, exactly. Just pick someone towards the top of the list.
Yeah, you got it.
You know what I mean?
Top one, best available.
Yeah. But that'll be fun. It'll be cool to see how that goes. A 4-person fantasy league.
Yeah, man. But thanks for checking this episode out. We're gonna be back early next week with the next episode with these bad boys. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Yeah. This has been Jonathan Rollins
and Skip Muzara.
and we'll catch y'all next time. Boo.
Later, y'all.